So the most recent patch of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate dropped Banjo Kazooie out of nowhere after that Nintendo Direct, and people have been playing this character like crazy, kind of like the other DLC, but this one I've noted a lot of people say that he is more fun. You know, Hero was very silly, but Banjo was just fun. He's free-flowing. A phrase I've seen a lot is he belonged in Smash in the first place, and that is high compliments for a DLC. But I want to talk about him in terms of competition, where I think he is relatively on the tier list, you know, very, very early. Obviously, I want to talk about his strengths, some of his weaknesses that stand out, and just overall how I think he's going to fare against a lot of the meta characters. As a side note, it is now midnight 30 as of recording this, and I'm going to be recording basically all night a bunch of videos so I can have some content coming up, so bottoms up. Let's get back to it. His combo game, while good, is fairly unintuitive. It's a lot of grenades, it is a lot of setups into grenades, into things, it's a lot of pressure stemming from grenades to get openings, which then you can throw into the grenade or something like that into more combos, or it's just a general advantage state kind of nickel and diming your opponent slowly over time and then randomly get that like 40% burst damage into like a landing side B. So he is not a simple character to me at all. One of his biggest strengths, in my opinion, is the fact that it is really difficult to chase him down between two amazing projectiles, his grenade down B and then also the eggs neutral B. I'm very, very bad at using the gun variant of the neutral B, or the one that he's just like holding Kazooie. That one's really difficult for me to use, so I'm not really going to talk about it, so maybe some undiscovered stuff that I am unaware of, but overall, I think just egg, I think I tweeted it once, egg is like a bad version of Thunder Jolt, because Thunder Jolt's broken, and then the grenade is obviously, like, in my opinion, a slightly worse version of grenade, mostly because grenade is frame 1 and there's 2 of them, but there are things that are amazing about grenade, such as the fact that if you throw the grenade or it explodes on contact, it does not hit Kazooie, similar to how bombs work with Peach and a bunch of other items work. This allows you to get really up close pressure where you don't have to worry about the spacing of the grenades like Snake does, so it allows you to get more interesting combos or more up close, and it is constantly a threat. It's not just going to explode on a timer, which is really scary, and it's really good for a mental perspective when playing against Banjo. But yeah, those projectiles make it really difficult to approach against him because he just run back, throws grenade, run back, throw egg, run back, grenade again. It is really difficult to pin him down, plus he has amazing counter pokes for people that are chasing him in F tilt and down tilt, although that one's a little slower, so he's constantly able to switch between like using his fast pokes, run back, throw a grenade. If you respect it a little too much, then he picks it up and gets pressure. He's really, really good at turning on and off offense and defense. It is kind of crazy. You have to be really on top of him in terms of like knowing what he wants to do in order to fight him, because if you don't, he's just gonna be switching all over you and mixing your shit. And something I feel like that is going to be very important, seeing how far Banjo is going to go up on the tier list, is the utilization of his multi-hits, because I know you can get Nair drag downs and back air drag downs, but at the current moment, as of what, like a week and a half of him being released, they're still fairly inconsistent. I'm not saying that's always going to be the case, but if Banjo players can figure out how to always get Nair drag down grabs, or Nair drag down F tilts, or, you know, back air drag down F tilts, although that one's a little bit more consistent, that is going to be huge for him, because now his air to airs become air ground combos with tech chase setups and those type of things, and that is going to be a huge deal, but it seems inconsistent at the moment just because of how big the hitboxes are. I don't know how many hitboxes, which are then leading to the opposite direction, because that's kind of how multi-hits work. You know, that will be a big telling, because I think sometimes they're already good. Like, I've definitely got Nair drag down into like Rita spot dodge into forward smash or down smash, things like that. But speaking of down smash and forward smash, I want to talk about a big thing about Banjo Kazooie, which is his ledge trapping / edge guarding. Banjo's ledge trapping is ridiculous. First off, I want to talk about the 2-frames in it, because I'm pretty sure he has 5 or 6 moves that effectively 2-frame from on stage. Downward angle F tilt, down tilt, forward smash, down smash, and side B. All of those moves from on stage, the normals on stage, all 2-frame. I have been playing MBD's Banjo, and I have got forward smashed at about 65 as Pikachu and I die, or repetitively down tilted as a character with reverse recovery and it sends you at a terrible angle and you die, or F tilted, or down smash and it kills you at 100 at the ledge. This character's ability to 2-frame is ridiculous, one of the best in the game, and it is going to make characters, even with good recoveries but predictable recoveries like Palutena or Wii Fit Trainer or Zelda, it is going to be so difficult to recover as those characters because of the ridiculous amount of 2-framing, which is going to make people, you know, recover a little bit different, and that feeds into the rest of his edge trapping potential with eggs and grenade setups and side B just being able to cover landings. This character, when the opponent is off stage, is so scary. You're always scared, like 100% of the time. And that's just with like safe options that you're not going to be able to punish in the first place. Then he has obviously the options of like throw a grenade into, you know, read your ledge jump side B, or read your roll side B, or combo a grenade toss down if you neutral get up into a side B at 55 at the ledge, or maybe even less than that if he has rage. This character, oh my god, you have to get off the ledge versus him, and that is going to be such an important part of every character's matchup, I feel like, with him, is the ability to get off the ledge. But again, this character's still new and is already doing amazing ledge traps, so when that gets optimized with egg spacings and, you know, all these like flow charts for ledge trapping, it is going to be incredibly scary. Shoutouts to forward air. That move is one of the most fun moves in the entire game, to be honest. It reminds me of a weird combination of Yoshi Sphere and Mario Sphere, but also is way more safe on shield than both of them, so I like it a lot. I even really like his other aerials. I really like up air, even though it doesn't do a lot of percent, but thank God, because if that giant aerial was doing like 14 or 15%, this character would be absolutely toxic. I love back air, it's pretty decently strong. I like neutral air a lot. Down air is probably his worst aerial, but at the same time, with the maneuverability of his recovery, it actually can provide some solid mix-up of like up B really high, down air, toss egg, grab it, jump, you know, jump, or like jump, air dodge, grenade explodes, up B again. Like, it provides some mix-ups, so even though it's not like the greatest thing, it is still a decent mix-up for a bunch of other options, and obviously you have to respect it in terms of the stall and fall, and if you get some swag, you can spike with it. And I just mentioned it, but I do want to talk about Banjo's recovery, because it isn't the best recovery in the game, but it is incredibly versatile, and because of the respect you have to give on side B, assuming he has any feathers, this character's recovery becomes one of the hardest to mess with in the entire game. He has so much mix-up with it, between the grenades helping him recover, between just the pretty good up B 2 jumps and air dodge, and the side B, he gets a lot of distance. There's the video of the like infinite recovery, although that's somewhat impractical, because at that point people can just go out and start messing with you, but they also have to respect side B at the same time, so if they mess with you and they're at like 100 and you just catch them with the side B, they're gonna just die off the top, so that's kind of silly. But I do think this character's recovery, even though sometimes it can be sus if you get him low enough, like with a multi-hit drag down, or with, let's say, like a Fox Fair Shine or something like that, it can be somewhat of a struggle for him, but those are very specific situations. It's more like the issue is going to be him getting off the ledge than him getting to the ledge in the first place, because of that respect that you have to give side B. Because of how ledge options work and side B having startup in the first place, ledge trapping is going to be one of the areas that he has the most difficulty in. His best mix-up outside of, you know, the regular ledge options like the standard ledge jump roll kind of mix-ups is going to be drop down, double jump, reverse egg lay, or I guess grenade lay, because it starts in the back. Obviously it has a hitbox immediately, but I think if you shield it, it won't hit him, so he's a little bit safe, but then you can be out of shield aerialed, which is pretty common for most characters. They have something in front of them that's pretty fast, so that's going to be a little bit riskier, but it's a decent mix-up to throw if they're kind of standing back anticipating a roll, or if they're doing a bunch of short hops to try to catch a jump. The egg will come out, at worst case trade, but then you have some time to get back to the ledge and maybe get there before the standard edge trap can start again. So that's going to be a decent option for Banjo, but it's not among the strongest characters. It's not like it's obviously Pikachu's or Zero Suits, Sheik's, those type of characters, and I feel like Banjo is a little too slow in the air for it to even be characters like Palutena, where ledge jump is a really good option, or characters in general with really high aerial mobility or really good double jump off the ledge aerials. Banjo doesn't really have access to that. You know, the big fear is going to be side B, but side B does have a decent amount of startup, so you can just get swatted out of it pretty easily if the opponent is there and reacting accordingly. Honestly, I feel like the biggest struggle for this character is it seems difficult for this character to come back. You know, if you have a lead with Banjo or it's even, it feels really good. You have the option of just burst side B. You have all the kill options that I've mentioned. He has like the general combos, the general control he has, but when he has to approach, his options aren't the greatest. He's not the best offensive character because you need time to set up your traps, and if you need time to set up your traps, then the opponent can run forward and take center. Then you kind of fight for center again, then have to back up again to get another egg because his normals aren't among the best in the game. And I'm talking about only against like top tiers and high tiers. I feel like the matchups that he has with the lower tiers are pretty good, and that'll lead to why I think he's a pretty decent character, but I'll get to that a little bit later. It seems hard for Banjo to force a play because the side Bs like will come out and you're kind of ready for them. Opponents can just kind of jump in the corner, and it makes it really difficult for Banjo to land anything, considering his back air isn't super strong, his forward air is slightly laggy, so it's hard to meet people in the air with them. So if they're like platform camping a Banjo, like it's really hard for him to just get in, and that can be really problematic, especially considering there are 2 triplats generally legal, even Stadium, Kalos, like he can't really force the plays on those platforms, or even against more mobile characters or characters with really good jumps that are just kind of jumping in place and just kind of like jump back, hold forward, jump back, hold forward, jump forward, hold back. You know, it's not that easy for him to make a play. However, once he gets the stock, his damage racking is again very good. Those couple of situations where he deals you 40 and then laser grenade and he's just kind of getting his pressure, he's getting his flow, he feels really good to have the momentum. And not having the momentum, yeah, it kind of sucks, but a character that can come back on a stock deficit, like in terms of percent, like a full stock, like 100% down, he can do that, but it's just when he's down a stock, it gets fairly difficult. You know, especially if you start using your side Bs when it's on your last stock, then the people, like your opponents, can kind of be like, okay, you only have 2 feathers left, now you have the whole stock, so I'm less scared of that random burst option. A decent strategy in my opinion is to just play the resources of Banjo, but at the same time, he doesn't really have to use those side Bs unless you are an amazing edge guarding character like Palutena or Pikachu, which are 2 of the characters I feel like that have better matchups versus Banjo compared to the rest of the cast, so that's not even that much of a problem, it's just more of a matchup thing. I do think Banjo at the current moment already is going to be like the low high tier-esque area. You know, I have a tier list that is going to be coming out probably within the next couple weeks and you'll see his exact position there, but I do think his placement is pretty good. He just has a lot of options, and obviously he is still super new, so there is going to be a lot of potential for this character to get better again as edge traps gets optimized, and you know, all the situations that Banjos are like, oh my god, that's crazy, when those become standard and he gets those confirms and he gets that set play, that is going to be incredibly scary for Banjo. To me, he is the most fun DLC that I have played, and I just absolutely love him. Unfortunately not the best because Joker's broken, but I think he has a really good shot at being actually good in this meta, even with the couple of flaws that he has. And yeah, that is going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, social media, Panda and Partner stuff is down below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I am putting out a lot of content soon. You know, I'm recording a lot tonight, and then I have some more stream highlights and things like that, just generally. So keep up the contact, and also don't forget to hit the bell if you want those notifications, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.